So one of the questions I often get asked is it too late for me to start? Have I missed my chance of making art? And so I need to tell you the story of my mother. All my life, people have been asking, where'd you get your talent from? There's no one else in your family that's artistic at all. They're all scientific and teachers and logical thinkers. And then there's you, the weird one, the sensitive one. And there was really no answer. But we discovered that recently, well, a few years back. When my mother turned 82, she started to paint. I had no idea she had it in her. Before that, there's nothing wrong with this, but she knitted. And that was her creative outlet, and that's really good. But when she started to paint, I was blown away. She had a love for trees and for landscape. And, you know, here's one of her paintings right here. And I'm not in love with the bird, but I look at those trees and I go, I don't know if I could paint it that well. And she had very little instruction. She just kind of took it on all by herself. At her senior's home, there were others, and they watched videos sometimes, and they had somebody instructing who didn't really know how to tell them. And eventually she convinced me to become part of that development. And so I started to come and teach her group once in a while, or do demonstrations, or one time only, I coached her through a painting, and she picked this one, a painting from the group of 7 that she wanted to copy. And she did an amazing job in an afternoon.
This is just too much fun to be true.
Mom's enjoying this painting. We're going to have to get her a studio somewhere.
Anywhere can be a studio. I'm just so delighted with this. But she did all sorts of paintings, and they're really quite good. There's a lot to them. There's some a bit more naive than others, but she also developed over time. The paintings got better and better, and she was just voracious in trying to learn how to do things better, and in just producing. She was productive like I've probably never been in my life. Then something else happened is COVID happened, and we couldn't get together, and so I started teaching online, and she was part of that group. It was a small group of very committed, and they were all tended to be about my age or older. And I presented her with a new challenge, because I was teaching how to draw in pencil, first off with your hand, and then eventually portraits of people. And she had never wanted to or thought she could. Well, and she picked as her subject matter, and this is something I tell people, don't do right off the bat, don't do things you love, because you might be disappointed. But she picked 2 of her granddaughters, and she did a drawing of them, and she presented it to the class online. And, well, the results were less than spectacular. And I gently critiqued the piece and told her, well, you can do this and this and this to improve it. And do you think you want to go ahead and work on this some more? And she did. And she took it and she worked on it for another week, and she brought it back the next week, and it was a little bit better. And I said, well, if you want to improve it, do you want to do this, this, and this as well? And she said, sure. And then, well, weeks went by, and week after week, she made improvements to the piece. And I'll tell you, I didn't know if she could do it, but she produced an astounding little drawing. And she'd never thought that she could draw faces of people or portraits. And she came up with something quite beautiful of 2 of her granddaughters. My mother passed away this last winter. But she pulled me back into my love for art, my love for teaching art, producing it, and finding, I think, healing and wholeness in it. and sharing that with others. So let me challenge you. It's never too late to start. Never. Take your intimidation, your worry, your fear, whatever, turn it into adventure, challenge, curiosity. Be spunky. Go ahead and do it. Don't be afraid. I never touched my tea the whole time, and then when I drank, it was way too hot.